Hey everyone, my name is Amber Carignan, and the topic I'm going to be discussing today is tourism and disaster. To start off, disaster is a sudden event such as an accident or a natural catastrophe that causes great damage or loss of life. It's also an event or fact that has unfortunate consequences. On the contrary, tourism is the activity of traveling to a place for pleasure. This is also a nationwide business that has hotels, restaurants, different types of entertainment, and it brings in a bunch of money year round all over the world. People like to travel to places that they feel comfortable and that they think their money will be spent well. So that's also a huge aspect in deciding the destination of the vacation. The connection of tourism and disaster is that they're both seemingly attracted to high risk zones. This can happen when tourist destinations are based out of exotic and tropical areas, also places prone to hurricanes or floods, or even at ski lodges that can have avalanches during certain times of the year. And another example is volcanic activity on islands. Several authors have emphasized the vulnerability of tourist destinations and thus tourists to disasters, and some have suggested that in these situations, tourists might be more exposed to danger than anyone else. In disaster situations, tourists themselves are often more vulnerable than locals. This is because they're unfamiliar with the area and also the disaster protocols that are supposed to be common knowledge. They're less familiar with the local hazards and even the resources that are readily available. They're less independent, they're out of their comfort zone, and despite the potentially devastating effect natural and man-made disasters can have on tourism, few tourism organizations have actually even implemented disaster strategies into their business plans, which is something that I find completely crazy. You would think that that would be one of their top priorities. Another example of a disaster event is a terrorist event, such as a hijacking or just an overall terrorist attack that occurs in a terrorist destination. This is because popular tourist destinations are usually high risk. There's a lot of people there, and that's exactly what terrorists try to target. They want to target people that are blindsided and a lot of people at one time. The media plays an incredibly essential role in any type of disaster situation because they basically have the freedom to report on anything that they want to, and sometimes it gets lost in translation or situations are highly exaggerated, and this makes people scared and sometimes more scared than they should be, and this is a huge economic toll that puts on the tourist destination because now people are not going to want to travel to their paradise if their paradise has had catastrophe taken place there. Another part of disaster preparedness is, apart from avoiding high-risk locations altogether, one of the more obvious steps that can be taken to assess the risk at an individual destination is exposed to develop management plans for coping with disaster situations well in advance, well before they occur. The toll that a disaster takes on an area is extended more than just how much money it costs, how many people that are hurt, but the long-standing economic impact is something that is not easily changed. This is when there's a loss of jobs, or taking it back to the media, how it can report on whatever it really wants to. It can have a devastating impact on the image of that tourist destination. And now it transforms it into a dangerous journey that most travelers would want to avoid. In the past, There have been detrimental damages done to high tourist attractions. The first would be the 1985 hijacking of the Achille Lauro cruise ship, which was a Mediterranean cruise ship. The 1989 San Francisco earthquake. This left bridges and roads and popular attractions in complete ruins. The 2000 Mount Asu eruption, and in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana, it really took a toll on New Orleans, which is the place that most people travel to in Louisiana. Poor communication, a lack of sources, and a lack of and confusion of the deployment of resources are things that attribute to common overall failures of disaster response. And here's my works cited. I hope you guys enjoyed.